I would like to address the elephant in the room. I'm really sorry, but I put up a Black Panther poster. Black Panther #1 does come out this week, but it is not on my pull list. I'm very sorry for anyone I might have upset. Um,
I don't
it
even know who
is,
you are anymore.
yeah, I'm sorry. It is technically on theme, but just please don't scream at me anymore. It hurts my ears. You guys are making my ears hurt with all the screaming and crying. So, hey everybody, you've done the intro like the past 2 times. Shut
Yeah,
up.
yeah, I just realized. Sorry.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Cosmic Panel. Uh, Back at it again with the weekly polls. Holy shit, it's June 14th already, and there's some fun books to talk about.
My first pick is Old Dog #5. Um, so we are back into the Old Dog with Declan Shelby. Um, first issue back, which was issue #4, was pretty interesting. They kind of hinted that there's something that we don't know about Retriever. Um, he literally cut off his own jaw and left it on the floor, but we saw him later regrow it. So, but we also saw a little bits of electronics in it, so we don't know, is he fully human? Is he like not fully human either? I'm wondering how far. We still don't have a concrete explanation on what his powers are or anything like that. Like, it's just really interesting because, yeah, Jack Lynch is one of those characters that I don't know if he's aware of how much his body has changed and if maybe the accident that did happen wasn't actually what they say.
Hmm. Yeah, quite a grisly cover on this one. So I guess that's referencing what you're talking about.
Yeah, it was his jaw. Literally, he cut it off to escape. Like,
Wow.
it's pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
Because like the room was gonna explode, and he got caught on the door. Oh, sorry, not his jaw. My mistake. His arm.
Okay. Okay.
His arm. Yeah, he cut off
Makes a
his
little more
arm, but then
sense.
he regrew it like within like the span of like 2 panels. So it's like, yeah, what's up with that? I'm guessing that probably something's gonna happen to his jaw with this. But either way, like his arm had like electronics in it, which doesn't make any sense because, as far as we know, he isn't robotic in any way. So he shouldn't have electronics in his arm.
Right. First up for me this week is Spider-Man India #1. Um, just in time for the Spider-Verse movie, Spider-Man India is getting his own mini-series, being written by, being worked on by Indian creators. He was fantastic in the movie. They kind of redefined him a little bit, changed up his suit, changed up his look, and I'm curious to see if this is going to try and bring back the character that we know, but haven't seen in a while, or if this is going to kind of try and bring him into a new era similar to the movie.
Yeah, I'm hoping that they give him a redesign. I actually really like his costume in the new Spider Verse film. I think
Yeah,
it's a huge step up to his current costume, which in comparison feels kind of bland, and
right.
poorly thought out to be honest. Um, so hopefully an update because I mean this character has had the same costume since 2000, so it's not like he isn't due for a change up. But also this is his first miniseries in 20 years.
This will be exciting. I'm always down for some multiverse fun, so let's see where this goes.
Yeah, hopefully it's good. Next up for me is Click Click Boom. Um, Kind of going in blind with this, as long as like the creative team goes, but I will say, um, the summary alone seems very interesting. Basically, Sprout is a mute assassin who talks only through Polaroid pictures, and she was trained uh, since a young kid to be like a doomsday prepper with her grandfather. And now her grandfather's been murdered, and now she's going into the city for the first time in her entire life. And it's her dealing with the fact that like she's just not used to that. Plus, the way that she communicates is really weird. Um, So I mean, the summary alone seems interesting enough, and the art seems cool. I'm actually pretty excited, and it's a small creative team, so they must be actually passionate about this. I would hope.
Cool. Yeah. Image has been a reliable source lately, so definitely can dig this pick, and a lot of indie stuff from you this week, but there's a lot of good indie stuff to read, so it's cool.
Yeah.
All right, next up for me is Green Lantern #2. Have some questions that I would like answered in this second issue. Um, looks like it is staying a $4.99 book because it has the backup John Stewart story, so that's very interesting as well.
Yeah, it's probably going to stay
Um,
consistently like that, to be honest.
yeah, it's an interesting choice, but we have a very interesting way for Hal to get his ring back was that he harvested the willpower from the Manhunter suit. So I'm very curious to see how they kind of explain that. Obviously, Hal shouldn't be without a ring for too long, but I'm very curious to see how they're gonna explain that.
Yeah, they've always kind of played fast and loose when it comes to Hal's ability to wield the ring. Sometimes he can form it just out of his own will, and sometimes he can't do anything without the battery. So I'm wondering, like, is he gonna need to find like a more permanent way to charge that ring? Is that like a one and done deal? Like, what's gonna be happening with that? Also, I do want to address the elephant in the room. The Kilowog in Kiss the Chef apron is pretty funny.
I am hoping for a lot of Kilowog in this series.
Yeah, so Kilowog cooking and just having like Green Lantern merch as his like cooking apron is pretty funny to me.
Yeah, it's good. But yeah, Hal has obviously proven himself to be a very powerful lantern in the past, so I'm sure they'll have some good reason.
Yeah. Next up for me is Static Team Up Anansi. Anansi is actually a character that appeared specifically only in the Static Shock TV show. And he was this character that was like a spider totem, and that was like his whole thing was that he was like an occult magic user, but he specifically had spider powers because he was a spider totem. And this was before Spider-Man stole that. Just saying. Uh, but yeah, Anansi is one of those characters that like I always think had a sick design, and the fact that he was never introduced into the comics is kind of wild. So I'm actually really happy that they're bringing in this character finally into like the proper comic format, and they're keeping his design literally the same from the comics, and he's teaming up with Static.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting to see a Static team up book. Curious how long they're gonna run that and which characters are gonna feature in that. So looks very cool.
Anansi's just one of those characters that honestly is always so cool.
All right. Next up for me is Moon Knight #24. Um, last issue was an amazing Venom team up.
So good.
Alessandro Capuccio just killed it. I really liked his take on Venom. Very heavy on the tongue emphasis. Always on the move. But yeah, it was a really fun issue. It felt like a long issue, honestly. They dealt with a lot. First, they just kind of fought off that quartet of obscure villains, and then Moon Knight realized that with the help of Dylan, that there's a frequency in the air due to the testing that his current villain is dealing with. So
Yeah.
it's sort of
Morpheus.
played into the. I don't think it was Morpheus. No, it's a different guy from last issue.
Oh,
Morpheus
was it?
is just a one-off. Sarnak. Sarnak is the
Sarnak.
enemy from last time. So this issue, he's going to be fighting what looks like another old enemy, whose name is Morpheus, and guest artist Federico Sabatini on this one. So that'll be interesting as well.
Yeah, he's whenever Alessandro's been really busy, he's always filled in, and honestly, the quality between the two has always been really, really good. Federico always like manages to pull his weight so well that like the issues where Alessandro isn't there doesn't get hurt because Alessandro isn't there. Federico did the Taskmaster issue and all those like issues where basically Alessandro was gone.
Right. And this is building up to, of course, the big issue 25, which is going to be a massive Moon Knight celebration.
Yeah.
So, yeah, very exciting.
Is this the first time that Moon Knight has hit over like 25 in like years?
Um, well, I mean, he's definitely had some longer runs, but uh, I mean, if you're talking recently, no. Well, I mean, the other problem is that recently when they did legacy numbering, they, changed his numbering.
Mm.
So, but no, I mean, it's been a strong 24 issues or 23 issues, and I can only hope it will continue that way.
Yeah, no, same. Honestly, such a fun and good series. The art, the writing, everything.
Yeah.
Jed McKay kills it. One of the best Moon Knight runs I've read. Next up for me is Spirit World #2. Phenomenal book. Honestly, really surprised by just how fun this is. Xanth is honestly such a compelling character. Their powers are really cool. The fact that they can just make whatever out of paper is awesome. Constantine feels like in character, but not like the end all be all of the situation because he doesn't know the ins and outs of the Chinese underworld. And then Cassandra Cain just being in the book also kind of felt natural because it was literally just an accident and she just got trapped. The art is also phenomenal. The art is incredible too. I'm honestly really surprised by just how good this book is. Um, Elias, what did you think? Just curious.
Yeah, this is very solid. I think it's a very clear effort. They know what they want to do. They're including a great cast. The art's fantastic. Everything is very cohesive. I'm very curious to see where this story goes. I think it's very captivating, and yeah, just obviously great representation, good use of Cassandra, and two other seemingly human characters are in the spirit world as well, and I'm very curious to see what brought them there and what they're doing there.
Yeah, I mean, we still don't even know how Xanth became like a Soul Reaper. Like we still don't understand exactly how that worked or anything like that, and how they got trapped in the underworld. And yeah, no, it's interesting. I'm excited to see what happens, and I'm just happy that like Alyssa Wong isn't really spreading their wings and going from Marvel and DC and kind of just creating their own characters and ideas.
Yeah, very cool series. Next up for me is X-Men Red #12. Um, we're finally getting the introduction of John Ironfire, which is very exciting.
He looks so cool.
Yeah, he looks awesome. Obviously, my favorite new character to come out of Sins of Sinister. And it's going to be very interesting to see how he plays into the modern era of X-Men.
Yeah, I love the inclusion of Nova Richard Rider last issue. That was so good too.
Yeah, that was very cool. Always love seeing some Nova, especially because he's not involved in the Guardians right now. You know, space politics, all that good stuff, but just getting an update from him is always nice. And
Yeah,
if the issue is just John and Nova and Sunspot and Storm, I would love that.
exactly. Um, and plus Storm finally fought against Xavier, drew the line, and I honestly really respected that because it was a confrontation that was bound to happen. It was building up to it, but Storm dealt it in the most mature way that she could have. Um, and we really got to see Charles just really start to crack under the pressure. I really do think this is the beginning of the end, and you can kind of see it from Charles and the way he's handling things.
Yeah, definitely. And did you read Immortal?
I have not. I
Oh,
should have. I'm sorry.
shit. Okay, I should have mentioned that. Okay, all good then. But yeah, Immortal was a very
Was it
very
important?
cool
I'm
issue.
sorry.
No, I wouldn't say it was directly important to the current Red plot, but I was just wondering because I wanted
Yeah,
to
I
mention
didn't
that.
read
But
it. I'm behind on books.
all good. Everyone shame him in the comments. Everyone
Ah,
shame.
ah.
No, it's all good.
For my final poll, I have Void Rivals #1. Um, Robert Kirkman and Lorenzo De Felici. Uh, Lorenzo De Felici, if you guys don't know, made Chroma, which is probably my favorite book of the year. No, not probably, is my favorite book of the year. Um, and while I do like Robert Kirkman as a writer, I don't think Lorenzo needed Robert Kirkman as like a reason to sell the book. But either way, I'm so excited for this. This is going to be apparently a new shared universe, and it seems very like science based. Apparently dealing with worlds that are collapsing around a black hole, and like intergalactic politics. And yeah, no, it just looks really interesting. I'm so excited. Just the creative team alone makes me very hopeful about how this is going to turn out.
Yeah, definitely. Haven't seen anything new from Kirkman in a while, so that's interesting. Um, Not necessarily a bad thing that he's on it. I think it's just like maybe, you know, um, Felipe didn't have like a part in the plot on this one. But I have no doubt
Yeah,
this is going to be a very cool book, and yeah, I'm very excited to check it out.
I'm curious. Give me one second. I'm just curious what his last series was. Um,
Kirkman,
yeah, I'm trying to see what his last series was, where he was writing
also not
credits specifically.
what I was expecting him to look like.
You didn't. You weren't expecting Kirkman to look like that.
Yeah, never seen his face.
Yeah, he's
Younger than I thought, I guess.
yeah, no, he's actually surprisingly not that old. So the last thing he did was an issue of crossover, and then he did Firepower. That was it. Firepower.
When was Firepower from?
That stopped. The last issue stopped literally. Oh, actually, it stopped dropping in October 26th, but it's going to be coming back in July actually this year.
Oh, okay. I guess I
So
was just
it took a break.
not noticing it was on the shelves.
Yeah. So yeah,
Huh.
it took a significant break. It's literally just Iron Fist, but what if instead of like chi and hardening his fist, he just had fire?
Righto. All right. Well, my final pick of this week is Doctor Strange #4. Yes, it is very weird that we are getting a issue so soon after 3, but I thought issue 3 was pretty awesome.
It was
Um,
phenomenal.
yeah, really fun issue. I'm glad you dug it as well. Just a nice little fun standalone Doctor Strange issue.
Yeah.
I like having just different mini problems for him to solve. I think it's a very good way to get back into the flow of things and not just jump into a huge thing right away.
Exactly. Plus, I love that he's like immediately like as soon as like Clea they turn off the call. Clea's like, "Do you have anything to ask me?" And he's like, "No. Why would I?" And and he's like, "Do I have a reason to worry?" And she's like, "No." And he's like immediately like, "That's all I need. That's it. I trust you enough."
Right.
It's like I really like the level of trust between these two that they legitimately feel like a couple that has been through so much and know each other so well that they know when they would need each other, that they would rely on each other if they needed each other at that moment.
Exactly. Yeah, they're written very well together. They have a great dynamic.
Just
And
keep them together, please, please, please.
yeah, no, Jed's clearly fighting for it.
Yeah,
So issue 3 also had a backup story by Amy Chu, who we just had in the shop doing a signing. We did an interview with Miss Chu, so definitely be sure to keep a lookout for that on the channel very soon.
yeah,
But yeah, issue 4 featuring Wong. Always love some Wong time. And he's now an agent of Wand. So we're going to see what Wand is up to.
there's too many W words. What's
Wong,
wrong
Agent of
with
Wand.
Wong, Agent Wand? But yeah, no, I'm excited, especially because the last time we had a Wong centric issue, it was actually one of the most interesting ones, and it kind of set up the big villain. So,
Yep.
um, Yeah, and Pandora Peters is also very, very interesting, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, let's see where it goes, and I'm down to take a story a little bit away from Strange, at least for Tad, because especially after last issue, it was so focused on him.
There's a big universe, and I think Jed has been taking on characters that are known so well to fight like the same like one or two villains. You know what I mean? Moon
Exactly.
Knight with Bushman and Khonshu, and then Doctor Strange with like Dormammu and Baron Mordo. But Jed is trying to build a larger universe to really keep them cemented in the modern age and keep them interesting. And I think that's really commendable, and he's doing a great job of it so far.
Yeah. I loved also that he acknowledges every other time that a character defeats a villain or their previous. Like, literally, last issue was just him listing all the times that Dormammu has been defeated by Strange, and it was like,
That's right. Yeah.
that's sick.
Jed was just
Like,
flexing his research. It was great.
yeah, no, seriously, man. He he's just on top of his stuff. You can tell that he really, when he gets into a story, he reads their backstory. He really gets into them, which is why I'm even more excited for the Avengers and all these different books that he's taking over. Plus Moon Knight, like McKay Wednesdays, or well, we can't say McKay May anymore because it's already past May. But yeah, no, it seems like this week is very McKay centered.
Yep. Very much so. Well, as always, this has been the Cosmic Panels Weekly Polls for June 14th. Don't forget to like, subscribe, support your local comic shop, and read comics.
See you.
Read Black Panther. Let me know how it is.